Welcome back to the Night Shift, your safe space for talking about UFOs, UAPs, NHI disclosure, mysterious egg-shaped craft, and everything else your friends, family, and coworkers are so sick and tired of hearing you go on and on about. We're starting early today. It's an early day for us. It's 12 p.m. on the East Coast. And it's a very special show because we've got a full boat today. And Xander's on fire. He's ready to declare war on Ross Coulthart. Patrick from VETTED is here with a bombshell that is amazing. It blew my mind. I can't wait to hear more about this. We've got a lot going on. And if you've been paying attention to the space at all over the last 30, 60, 90 days, I guess, you've probably noticed that there's been a tremendous messaging shift, particularly noticeable with our own Ross Coulthart of News Nation, who has totally changed his whole vibe. And it's really harshing my mellow. So we'll get into that. But needless to say, Ross is now of the opinion that there's nothing to see here. And if there was, you and I don't have any business knowing it. So we can just fuck right off. We're going to talk about that and a couple other things as well. But before we get started, shout out to everybody in our chat. A huge, huge, huge Night Shift shout out to Chris Hovord, the heart and soul of our mod squad, who is back home after a stint in the hospital. He is on the mend. He's feeling better, stronger every day. Please send him some good vibes and some good energy. He could use it. And what else? There's so much to say. The fundraiser, the GoFundMe that we launched just a week ago to raise funds to send the Night Shift team to DC to cover the September 9th UAP congressional hearings. We just blew past 100% on that. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who contributed to that fundraiser. I cannot thank you enough. This is tremendous. It's exciting. We did not expect this outpouring of support, but you guys are phenomenal and you completely blew our minds. So I will be making a different video specifically addressing that, and that'll be a separate thing. But just because we're here and you're watching, I wanted to let you guys know that we're humbled and honored. So thank you for making this possible. Okay, let's get to our panel. We've got a full house today, so let's just get right into it. Xander, you're here. You're mad. You're pissed. Tell me why. What's going on?
No, I'm not mad. No. All of that stuff I said before the stream, I didn't mean it.
Oh, man. You should have heard this guy before the stream.
Maybe this will just help us refresh our memories. Hold on a second. Yeah, maybe this will help us just refresh.
I just threw Xander under the bus. He's like,
no.
My clip's not ready.
It is ready. Here we go.
So we took all of these individuals that were making these claims, and we said, prove it. You claim that we can summon things in the sky? Prove it to us. We've got the sensors, we've got the team, we've now assembled everyone, and we've asked these folks to show us and actually verify what they're saying.
Very good.
That's perfect. Oh, that's so great.
It's now playing a different video. There we go.
Very, very good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look, we're live. It's going to play us. There we go. Close that.
It might be helpful to pull up a clip of Ross from the podcast the other night when he said what he said. He put out a couple of he said it a couple of different ways, but like whinging. What did he say? We were doing the community. Sum it up for us, Xander. What did you see in that?
Yeah, it used to be that he was among the ranks of those of us that feel really frustrated at the fact that the closer people seem to get to the light bulb, the less they seem to want to share with anybody else around them. And that was the case from what I can see with what seems to be going on with Skywatcher at this point. Started off really transparent and we were getting regular updates, and then slowly but surely it's all kind of gone behind closed doors. There are rumors of like they've actually made some progress, but who knows, maybe we're not entitled to it. James Fowler's bagged himself a nice old contract and taken all of his gear with him. And it's a bit like, What happened to the Skywatcher that I made a fan video about? Like, I've spent a week making a fan video, creating some like original music, and I was really behind the project. And where's it gone? Oh, see, they're getting to me.
They're getting to you. It's that they sabotage your XLR cables. That's how they get to you.
And then we have Ross kind of saying like, well, stop whinging. You don't have a right. They're a private company. And it's like, well, okay, fine. Like, do you mean that for Lockheed as well then? Because they're a private company. Like, what I thought the whole thing was the fact that this technology, we have a right to at least know the truth behind it, if not access to the technology itself. But the technology, if it has the ability to do the things that they claim it can do, it can change everything. It can solve every problem we have on the planet. But, you know, they're a private company, and Ross says we don't have a right to it anymore.
We're talking about, for people who are wondering what this is all referring to, the Ross Coulthart Q&A on News Nation from about 5 days ago. It's been on my mind all week because I watched this and I was just like, my jaw dropped. But for 30 straight minutes, he basically says, yeah, you guys don't need to know anything. And that's just tough titty. You know, stop whining, and you'll do better if you just shut the fuck up and move on. And you maybe you'll learn more that way. And it's such a tone shift from where we were just about, I don't know, 90 days ago, maybe a little bit more. Right around the time that he did this whole Tic Tac Lockheed thing. And that was right around the time that he and Bryce Zabel had that weird moment where he dropped that bombshell right there in front of, like, live on Bryce's show. And then Bryce is like, gets up from his chair and he's like, what is happening right now? You could see he's like freaked out. And then right after that, they part ways. Richard Dolan comes in as the new co-host, and Ross is off saying, nothing to see here, guys, you know, whatever. He even said when he says James Fowler got hired away, but on a lucrative defense contract, he's like, in this particular podcast, he's like, I hope you go on to make lots of money with lucrative defense contracts. I hope that everything's great and you find lots of UAPs, after telling us to pay no more attention to this issue anymore. It was a completely weird left field. I don't know. It just kind of rocked my brain a little bit. So when that happened, and then we see that James Fowler's, you know, moving on. I saw your video, Patrick, about basically this huge bombshell claim. Tell people about that, and then we can tie this all together and see where we go with it.
Sure. First of all, thank you guys. Well, I'm happy to be here for lunch shift, I'm calling it, for today. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone. Shout out to all the vetters, everyone in chat. Yeah, so on Monday, I dropped a video, an exclusive clip for my upcoming documentary. Now, granted, it was a raw clip. I have so much more angles and footage, but I just put up this raw clip of a conversation I was having with Carl Crusher, who I went out and filmed with for a few days in Utah at the Zion National Park. And it was during one of these skywatches. We literally were skywatching ourselves. And we're just hanging out, talking in the back of a pickup truck. And he just drops this bomb on me. And this was like a month ago. And I've been sitting on it for a while, not sitting on it like whatever, just didn't really think too much about it. To me, I remember in the moment thinking, oh shit, okay. But as more information came out about Skywatcher, really what prompted me to release it was James Fowler saying he's leaving Skywatcher. And once I talked to the producer, Glenn, who's also working with me on this project, I just asked him, like, what do you think about putting out a clip of what we're working on, and just kind of give people a taste. And I said, I think I have the perfect one. Doesn't really show much. Because I'm not trying to give away too much of what I filmed and what's going on. So I thought, oh, this will be perfect. It's all dark, can't really see anything, but it's a great sort of conversation. And during this conversation is where Carl Crusher tells me that he has a friend within Skywatcher, good friend that he knew before Skywatcher, that told him that Skywatcher had landed a craft They'd already done it. They landed a craft with NASA present, was what he specifically said. And he said he knows for a fact that, and of course, that just opened up a can of worms, and you know, it kind of spread like wildfire. And Gary Nolan commented saying, "That's news to me," right? That he didn't know. Well, I reach out to Skywatcher myself because I've been trying to film with Skywatcher for my documentary. So I've been in contact with Jake Barber and their CEO for months, actually. My producer and I both emailing back and forth, trying to film with them. And I actually knew about a month ago that they had ceased operations because they told us like a month ago, no, we're not going to be filming. We're not going to be doing anything. So unfortunately, we can't film with you, but we wish you all the best in your project. Stay in contact. You know, they were very professional. Let me just say that they were very professional with us, and cordial and respectful the entire time. But I did reach out to people that I know on Skywatcher, all individually. Only one person responded to me, and I asked him, can you confirm or deny, did Skywatcher land a craft with NASA present? And he gave me a statement. He said, I'm familiar with that situation. I can't say any more. Sorry for the vagueness. Now, what really sucked is I'm not a journalist, so I made a big mistake. And that is, I didn't tell him this was an on the record question, because I don't message with him every day or anything, but every so often we send DMs back and forth on Twitter. And to be honest, 99% of it is just life shit, sports, this, that, just whatever, other shit. And so I've never asked him for an on the record statement, right? After a message with him for months. So he just answered it thinking it was just like we always talk. And I was like, no, dude, this is, I'm putting this on the show. And he was like, ooh, he goes, he's like, are you going to use my name? I said, yeah. He said, I prefer you didn't. And I guess I could have if I wanted to, but it wasn't worth just throwing him under the bus, because I felt like I made the mistake by not clarifying this was on the record. I said, I am going to share the statement. So I had to basically break my own rule that I don't do anonymous sources. But because it involved Carl, and I feel like he was out there, because he had made the statement, I felt like he was out there and I didn't want to leave him on an island. So I wanted to complete the story, if you will, with the statement. I thought it would help, thought it would help him out a little bit and give people a little more context. Now, so broke the rule, put that out, and that's essentially where we're at. What does that statement mean?
Carl tie into this situation for people?
Carl is just he was going to be on Skywatcher. He had tried out. I don't know what the right word is. I don't know how you try out. Is it like a football boot camp? I don't know what a psionic boot camp. I don't know what happens, but he was essentially going to be on Skywatcher. And again, he just has a good friend on there. So he talks with them regularly. And that's what, just shooting the shit under the stars. And that's what he threw out.
So it's reasonable to believe that conversation could have taken place. And like, this is not a claim that's just coming out of nowhere and is based on nothing and sounds sensational. Right. You're saying that it's like, just reading between the lines here. Yeah. I'm aware of that situation is not, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what that means. Does that mean, I look, people were saying, oh, maybe he's just saying he's aware of the story. I said, no, because I asked subsequent questions. That's not it. He's saying he's familiar with that claim of happening, but not that my story went out, because people are like, maybe he's just saying he's familiar with the story. No. He's saying he's familiar with that situation, but he just wouldn't. To me, it sounds like he's confirming it without confirming it, right? And I put out a video saying that, and he didn't reach out and say, no, you're full of shit, or that didn't happen. That's a lie. That's a hoax. That's it. They didn't even really care that the story went out. Like, Skywatcher was not concerned really that this story went out. Have you seen him come out and say it's not true?
I was just checking today. I didn't see anything about it. Yeah.
No. Oh, the story benefits them no matter what. It still makes people think that they may have done something, even if they didn't. It still puts attention back on those guys, which they want, of course. True or not,
Yeah. Good point.
I agree with Dan. There's the old saying, any press is good press.
Right. Yep.
So the reason this gets so weird, and I think one of the reasons I was just annoyed this week, and Sanders annoyed too, and I think a lot of people are, is that you've got this group, right, Skywatcher, who hit the scene, and their whole marketing, their whole positioning was about, we are going to be, the sky's not classified. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to share it with everybody. You deserve to know. We deserve to know. Enough of this, government BS. We're going to get in there and we're going to do this. And then we were all on board. Everybody in the community was like, this is great. This is what they said. This is not what we projected onto them. Like, these are their statements. Like Alex Klokas, that's his video. That's him saying, we prove it to us. Okay. So everyone out here is like, all right, prove it to us. And we're all on that train. Ross Coulthart's on News Nation. He's doing his podcast. He's out there and he's like doing his Ross Coulthart thing, which honestly, that shtick is starting to annoy the shit out of me, because it's always like this. He's like, a little bird told me XYZ. He's like that dude in what's that? The fucking spy guy, Littlefinger. He's like that guy. He's like always got, I'm hearing whispers. I've been told, the word on the street is, and then there's nothing there to back it up. And it's these sensational claims. And when people are finally like, great, cool, well, we're ready to believe, show us some proof. He's like, hold up. All this week, hold up, guys, hold up. There's been a lot of whining in this community. What are you, my fucking dad? A lot of whining in this community, a lot of whinging. And if people would just relax and back off, the companies who are funding this don't owe you anything. They don't owe you answers. I'm sorry. Well, fuck you, Ross. Like, that's not what we've been saying this whole time. We've been having a different conversation for years now. And where the fuck have you been? And what is this new thing? Like, I'm sorry, but don't gaslight us. That's not going to fucking float. And I feel like that's where I'm at. I've been like containing it, but it's really fucking getting to me. And I just want to know, like, what do you guys think? Do you feel like the rug's being pulled out from under the community? We had Neil deGrasse Tyson just put out a video less than 12, 14 hours ago. And on Star Talk, he's got 4.96 million subscribers or something like that. And his video was basically like, Avi Loeb and his team are a bunch of idiots. They don't know what a fucking comet is. It's not aliens. Shut the fuck up. It just feels like everyone in the space has just piled on in the last few weeks.
How angry you were.
This is how angry I was.
Right on.
Listen
so
to
I'm
that.
just that was great.
That's what we're doing, dickhead.
I just sound like a Freddy Krueger.
Great.
I'm gonna come for you in your dreams.
Bro, that sounds like Jack Black from his album, when he does the devil voice.
Tenacious D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
right
God.
on.
The only band that I care about. All right, guys. So what do you think? That's my 2 cents. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're right. I mean, also, we're just going on what Skywatcher told us that they wanted to do. It's not like we're putting these expectations on them. They handed us these expectations from day one. Like, these are their words. These are their claims. These are their projected results. So I haven't followed any of this Ross stuff this week, but Compromised Coulthart, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it.
It does feel weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuckery about, as always, I think.
It just comes back to what I thought we were here to try and find some sort of truth to answer some questions, and to hear that now the people that were 6 months ago were saying that the public has a right to know and stuff like this, they've been illegally withholding this information from Congress. Who's talking about that now? Now it's just about you don't have a right. Because I don't know, are they the good guys and they control the information now, so it doesn't matter? That's not the way this is going to work. Your mission statement was literally, the skies are not classified. You, in my opinion, based on that mission statement, you owe us a statement here. Skywatcher needs to say something about this specific claim. If they didn't land a craft, cool, just say. You don't get to ride that media storm. If you've ceased operations, it makes no difference to you, but it makes a difference to us. So if you didn't land a craft, say it. If you did and you have no evidence, say it. You have to say it.
That's why this moment is so awkward. Go ahead. Sorry.
I say at least confirm it and say, well, we'll talk more about it later, but yes, something like that did happen. Just sit tight and we'll put together some kind of presentation or something. I don't know. You know,
It's been sort
it's
of radio
interesting.
silence from these guys. Yeah, for a while. Go ahead, Patrick. Sorry.
Here, real quick. You know, I did a live stream after my video came out. And it caused a lot of, ripples. And I thought, okay, let me do a live stream. I brought Carl on to maybe add some context and, you know what I mean? Explain maybe a few things. Like, for instance, when he said NASA was present, did he mean an official representative from NASA or someone who worked at NASA who came on their own dime? You know what I mean?
That's like, that's
a big difference.
that's
But
like
real quick,
Danny
real
was
quick,
present. Danny came. Danny works for NASA. Did you know? Danny was present. NASA is present. Was present means like they had
it's a
badges.
different thing. Yeah, it's a different thing. I agree. And he honestly
Sure.
he couldn't answer that. But the point I was going to make is he said something to me during the live stream, which was interesting. And I love Carl to death. Okay. He's a friend and I respect him. But he did say to me, he said, well, Patrick, I thought you were going to put this out next year. Right. So I think he was kind of telling me stuff knowing that it'll come out when my documentary comes out. That information would have already been out in public by then. So I think he thinks this is going to come out publicly, and it's kind of what he's told me, right? So like the Skywatcher is going to come out with this information. But again, we got to pull that thread. What does land a craft mean? Did it land 10 feet in front of you and you saw it hit the dirt and dirt come up, or you saw it land, 500 feet away and it looked like it landed? Did you see it take off when it landed? Did you capture the landing? Did you capture the craft too? Even though I asked Carl that and he said he didn't know, doesn't think so. What does that mean, land a craft? How big is it, right? Like, were beings in it? What happened after that? Right. There's all these questions that come from just that statement. So
that claim gives us all like 100 more questions.
Right. And so the weirdness of this moment is the combination of events and the timing, right? Like for people, if you're not following this all at home and it seems a little confusing, like, well, they said they landed the craft. Isn't that a good thing? Why are you mad at Ross? Why are mom and dad fighting? Like it's a whole, let me explain. Ross has been stoking the clickbaity news forever. Like that's the shtick, right? Like, and I'm in for it. I'm here for it. I'm believe me, I want to believe. So I'm on board. But he's also been saying like there is a there. He said there's a ticking time clock. I've been told there's a ticking time clock. There's a countdown. There's some kind of time constraint that my contacts and the CIA and the defense intelligence and whatever and all this. So while that's happening, it's stoking the curiosity of everyone in this community, and people are pouring into the community, and we're all getting excited about this news, and we're like, oh my God. Now Skywatcher comes into the picture and they're like, you know what? Government's never going to tell you anything. We're going to get the answers and we're going to share them with all of you. You know why? Because we're a bunch of really warm-hearted venture capitalists and investors from Silicon Valley, and we believe that you guys deserve to know. Okay, great, fine. I'm on board with that too. Let's go. And that's their whole website. That's their videos. They're putting these videos out on YouTube. And then suddenly they're just sort of radio silent. And there's nothing coming out of this group. Then their top tech guy, James Fowler, who is in episode 2, you could see him sort of explaining what they're seeing and how their detection systems work. This is the guy who had all of the equipment and expertise to spot these craft in the sky, track them, gather data on them. That guy just leaves up and leaves after they go radio silent. Now people are wondering, well, what happened? Did he just get a better gig and someone hired him away? And are they shutting down Skywatcher? Or, as Patrick has suggested in his video, based on these claims that have recently surfaced, maybe they did succeed. And that's it. They've got one. Maybe they have one. And if they have one, maybe they don't need to do it anymore because now they've got to focus everything on what they just got, which would be interesting because at the same time that this is happening, that's when you get Ross coming out, throwing cold water on the whole community saying, don't look over here, that, these people have nothing. They owe you no answers. So in the total like sum of things that are going on, if you have to step back from it to kind of see it, but I think there is something happening beneath the surface. And I wouldn't be surprised if what you said in your video, Patrick, turns out to be the case. If we find out 3 months from now, 6 months from now?
The last update they gave was that they were working on their next video, which was well over 4 months ago at this point. It doesn't take 4 months to make a video. We all know how to make a video here. Like, it doesn't take that long to do what the videos that they're putting out. Like, they're not still... I don't think they're planning on releasing that right now. I'm actually in agreement with you. I do think there is... Here, in this case, there's no smoke without fire, and something has happened. There was the whistleblower on Reddit who claimed that they'd basically been told they'd stepped over a line and they had to shut down. Obviously, they said that wasn't the case, but so far they haven't proved otherwise. Like,
what was that in reference to? They've stepped over the line. Do we know?
They were all apparently forced to sign NDAs. The dog whistle was either confiscated or bought off them. That kind of is a little bit backed up by the idea of James Fowler leaving. That's a bit of an analogy. If he took that technology with him, that's effectively true then in that case. And they said, there's no truth to those claims made on that popular post. But so far, I've not seen anything that proves otherwise other than that one statement. But it's been radio silence.
I do have one thing real quick. Carl also told me out there in this conversation, I can't remember if it's in the clip that I shared or not, because we talked a lot. He told me a lot of things, to be honest with you, about Skywatcher. One of the things he said was that they were, at that time when we filmed, this is the very end of July, literally like the 29th, 30th, somewhere in there. He said, the next episodes for Skywatcher coming out, they're going to feature the psionic assets. They're going to start introducing the psionic assets and featuring them in these videos. And so that's what he was expecting to happen, right? So he for this to all get shut down or whatever is kind of interesting. Now, Gary Nolan did say on Joe Rogan yesterday in the interview that Skywatcher is not done. They're still going. They're in the phase of analyzing the data. So Skywatcher is not done. And he said James Fowler may have gone on to do other things, but he's still consulting with Skywatcher. And Gary said he talks to him all the time, and they were just talking the other day about the data and this and that. So they're still going to be relying on him for whatever that means. I'm just trying to add, some context here. Right. But I agree, it's confusing.
Why is it so hard to get a straight answer from someone from Skywatcher, like Matthew Pines or someone to be like, "Hey, I'm the official representative. We are still going forward. There it is." But no one seems to have said that unless I missed it.
No, you're right. You're right. I agree.
So what the
Who
fuck?
is in charge? Who does all their media stuff?
Isn't Matthew Pines kind of like the spokesperson for Skywatcher officially? Am I wrong?
I think you're right. I remember he was introduced as that on a it was either Watch Mojo or News Nation.
Yeah, something like that.
Interview. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. And he's been silent about all of this for months.
So he just put out a weird tweet about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Was it about Bitcoin? Jesus Christ.
That weird Bitcoin AGI thing. Yeah, I know. It's kind of...
Yeah. I mean,
Eric, you what do you have to add? What do you think?
When it comes to Skywatcher, I was very cautious of them at the beginning, and I'm very cautious with everything. I have a 2-syllable saying when I hear something new. We'll see. That's it. We'll see. So I'm very cautious, but I totally agree with you guys. This was billed as this kind of borderline rogue research organization, and we don't take any shit from anyone. No one tells us what to do.
We're for
the
the
guys
people.
are not classified, et cetera, et cetera. And, Patrick and Dan made really good points. They were asking, and I asked the same thing. I had a friend of mine tell me about Skywatcher. Somebody was saying, oh, they got a craft to land. My first question was, how far? Like, because when you just say, and it's not Skywatcher's fault, it's kind of just human nature. When somebody says, I got a craft to land, I think we all think like 15 feet away.
Yeah.
Right.
Was this thing
A stone's
thing
throw.
8 miles away, and they're kind of inferring that they had something to do with it? I'm not exactly sure. So, in the end, the we'll see is my kind of go-to when I hear about the newest thing in the UAP community. Another saying is talk is cheap. You could talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? Whatever you say, that's great. I supported Skywatcher since the beginning, but you have to deliver on your promises. So,
Yeah.
and then when it comes to do businesses, is a private business obligated to tell us anything? No, they're not. Okay. But I could speak for myself. If I had incredible footage, incredible knowledge, something like that, I would share it because I would feel morally compelled.
Well, moral compulsion is not something that we deal with much anymore.
Silicon Valley doesn't
ways.
select for that.
I was saying before we started the stream, holding back this kind of knowledge, I liken it to somebody trying to patent water.
Yep.
It's like you can't do that. It's a human right to know certain things about ourselves. Like you have a right to know who your parents are. Like
I wish.
But
let's
ask a real question here, okay? Because I'm the same way. I'm frustrated.
No more of these fake bullshit questions.
Yeah.
Come on, Patrick. Show us how to ask questions.
Come to VETTED for the fake bullshit, y'all. So not lunch shift here. Okay, so look, this is. Let's be real. Let's hypothetically put ourselves in Skywatcher's position, because I do want to be clear. I do still support Skywatcher because I like what Eric said. Like, we'll see. Like, I'm still open, right? We'll see. But let's just hypothetically speaking, a thought experiment. Let's say you get footage of a landing and it's up front, Stone Star, right in front, and it clear as day, right? Landing, and you have all this. What do you do with it? Do you immediately throw it on YouTube? Like, what do? Do you throw it on Twitter? Do you go to the news? Do you try to get it verified first? Do you get other people to look at it? Do you compile all the data to put together a package or presentation to bring to the public? Like, I'm just for our sake, like, what would we do in that position? Like, what would y'all do if y'all were in that position?
I think the
realistically, right?
Logical, realistic thing is, like, if these people are who they say they are, and you can, kind of infer their connections just based on who they are, you would have a plan in place to retrieve and recover the craft. You're not going to take a chance on, if it happens one time, you've got to be ready that one time. So there would have to have been, I mean, if they were super serious about actually doing this, there would have to be a recovery team. There had to, whatever they used to go in and get a craft, like guys in hazmat suits or a big C-130 Hercules, or I don't know, but there had to be some kind of plan in place to retrieve it. And then that means they would have to have a place to put it. That place would have to be arranged way in advance. It'd have to be super secure. I mean, we're talking about something with a huge logistical footprint. So, like, pulling it off would mean, you'd have to divert all your manpower to this new thing that you've got. Well, so I could see, like, the messaging shift makes sense in that respect. If they did get one, then you might want to throw some cold water on everything for a little while and just chill people out so you could figure out what you just got.
You're saying that kind of with the assumption that something landed that we kept or that we captured, but there's also a possibility that it landed and then took off again.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That which would have been much easier logistically to deal with. But Patrick, do you know any more about, like, what happened after? Any more information at all on that experience? Oh, cold shoulder. Okay.
We've lost him. He
He
might come back. I'll say something. I think it also, what I would do would depend on the quality of the evidence that I have. If it was, if it landed and I got to run my hand along it and we filmed it, there's absolutely no chance the Department of Energy would not confiscate it and force you into secrecy. Yep, I would accept that is the case. Yeah.
Or you just release it immediately. Just put the video out immediately, then the conversation's over with. So if you want transparency, you fucking live stream it and you edit it overnight and put it out before anyone has a chance to do anything about it.
So, yeah, as I said, the likelihood is that if that happened, they were probably threatened, severely threatened, to the point where I know even in Ross's interview with Barber said things like, you don't want to come to my house. But it's very different when it actually happens, I think.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I can understand the radio silence from that perspective, but we were told by people like Ross that it's okay to ask these questions. And the whole point is that now it's not okay to ask. And that's what I'm angry about more than anything.
Well, right. It fits this larger pattern lately of people who have been leading us in one direction and then suddenly like turning around on us and pointing the finger and saying like, you guys don't appreciate everything we do for you. And it's like, well, like Lou, with these fake photos, and then he points the finger at the community and he starts like complaining about people who have questions. Same thing with Ross. It's like you guys opened the door and encouraged us all to like walk in, and you said there is a there. We're going to find it, and you're going to see, and everyone's going to be like, oh my god. So, I think people are rightfully annoyed, and I think it's just tone deaf. If they, for Ross to go on YouTube or News Nation and complain about it, that just shows he's not in touch with regular people.
Completely.
You think their approach could just be, look, guys, I'm really sorry. Something happened. I had to sign an NDA that I couldn't talk about it. Maybe the NDA says you can't even talk about the NDA. I don't know. But there are ways to let us know, guys, something's happened. Please be patient.
Yeah.
And right. That's the job of your media team, is to be prepared for that before it happens, so that your statement is already written, you're ready to go. You go, we can't say what happened, but we have to pause for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to do it. I agree. And maybe that's just not what their focus is, and we're assuming this happened. It probably, we have no way of knowing if it happens. It's all based on.
Look, I would say this, like, if they didn't want, and I'm saying this as a supporter of Skywatch, in the sense of just trying to be optimistic and open-minded and let's support this, right? So to give them the best chance, best benefit of the doubt, right? If they didn't want people to be asking questions and following up and accountability, then you would have never came out publicly and said anything that you were doing. Why bring the attention and say you're going to be putting out these episodes and promising within 12 months, working with the U.S. government, we are going to provide, finally, for the world, disclosure. And you don't expect the biggest claim I've ever heard in the UFO community, and you don't expect people to be like, hey, what's going on with that? Right? You want them to just shut up? Like I'm just supposed to forget about that, dog?
That was their promise. It was their promise.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They shouldn't have come out and made themselves public if you didn't want people to be held accountable for what's going on and like be more transparent with messaging, right? That's not our fault. I mean,
right.
I maybe 3 or 4 months ago, we have a couple other like private chats, and I said in one of those chats that I had a feeling that Skywatcher had already done this before. Like, before they even came forward, before they made these claims about being able to do it, I had a feeling that they have done this before, that they have landed something and that they knew they could do it, which is the only reason they would make that claim. So when this NASA story kind of came up, I kind of believe it, and I don't think it's crazy. Like I said, I already believe that they have done this before, personally.
I don't find that outside of the realm of possibility. That's comfortably within what I'd be willing to go accept.
Yeah, that's a clever theory.
I think they've done it already.
They actually said it in a video like before that they had it kind of like got passed over, but in one of their Skywatcher videos, you hear a guy say, we landed a craft or something along those lines. So they kind of threw it out, but it got washed over. Now,
that was on one of their videos. They put that out.
Yeah. And Dan, you could be right. That they could have been talking about before, right? That they had done it, and so they're like, "Oh shit, we can do this. Let's start a company. Let's do it officially. Let's get it down." Right? You know what I mean?
It's a massive claim to say you can do that. It's like if you haven't done it before, chances are you're going to fail at this attempt.
Right.
So to make that claim,
it's like a band. It's like a band who would go on stage and perform a song they never rehearsed.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Yeah,
why would you do that?
Comparison. Yep.
You've never been to a Corey Feldman concert? Come on.
God damn.
I'm sorry, Corey. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was below the belt. I love Corey Feldman. Truth, justice,
you do?
American way. Lost Boys, man.
The Angels, dude.
The Frog Brothers. Okay, so yes, I think yes, you're right. I agree with both you guys. That to make a statement like that sounds very confident. You got to be pretty ballsy to be able to say that. Sounds like we know that the techniques work. If you believe the egg video that they put out, then the techniques work, and that's what Jake Barber was trying to say. He's like, I've moved the shit. Like we got one. Someone did, and I was the guy flying the helicopter moving it. So clearly the techniques work, and maybe it was like they knew they could do it because it had been done, but maybe their team had to, get together and get funded before they could do it. I don't know. I just think, given the amount of weirdness in the space right now, it feels like something huge just happened. And either that something huge is everybody got a phone call and they all got told to just back off and dial back the enthusiasm, or they found something.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing like the, oh shit, cool down, media shift play out in real time. And you might be feeling it in the Twitter sphere and on YouTube because all these things are changing. But yeah,
you said
I would think if you're saying land, like that would mean recover it, right?
You said something on Wednesday that made a lot of sense. What if, if NASA was there and they saw this, their government agency and all of that, perhaps it was kind of decided that, yeah, okay, we've got the proof now. Like, that's it. Like, it is game over at this point. Who tells everyone? Is it Skywatcher, a small entity that really nobody really knows about, like, outside the people that are interested in this? Because if they released a video of a craft landed, chances are it probably wouldn't get anywhere. Do they need somebody like a president to take it from here? And that could explain the silence. That was a point that you made, Clint.
Was it allegedly filmed? Do we know? Patrick, do you know? Was this filmed, apparently?
Yeah.
I would sure like to see that.
Yeah. What does that mean, filmed? Like, is it like we were talking about earlier, is it far away? Is it up close? Is it one angle? Is it 10 cameras? Is it,
do you know
radar data too? Like,
before you froze up a little while ago, Patrick, I asked you, do you know anything more about this claim than what is in that clip? Even if you can't say about it, do you know anything more about it?
I mean, I think I've said everything I know. I don't know if I'm leaving something. I don't mean to. Like, I'm happy to share anything I know, to be honest with you.
Cool.
I think that's it. There's more in the clip. There's like 12 minutes, so I do ask more questions. I just can't remember everything I said, but
of course,
there's more in that clip that I ask Carl about Skywatcher, what they're doing behind the scenes, their intention, what was their purpose, all of these sort of things. The psionic assets. I even ask him at the end, like, why didn't Michael Herrera join Skywatcher? Like, what's going, so there's a bunch more in there. But as far as that specific event, I think everything's out as far as that goes.
Cool.
I know.
I'm going to put the link to this video, Patrick's video, in the chat. So if anybody wants to check this out, it's in the chat now. You can take a look.
Patrick, do we know where this do we know where this supposedly took place?
That's a great question, and I don't. The only thing I know is that I would imagine it took place where they do all of their research, and I've not been able to confirm where exactly that is, but I've heard rumors that it's on the Texas-Mexico border, by like El Paso, that area.
Eric, you got to figure that out, right?
Which should be season 2.
Season 2.
Well,
Eric knows.
Someone might know.
Eric knows. Eric knows where it is.
I don't know what I should say.
Say it, God damn it!
Yeah,
He knows.
I know where they were.
Is there a reason why you can't talk about it?
Who, me?
Yeah, you little coy boy.
Who, me?
Who, little old me? I'm just a little therapist. I don't know.
Perhaps I'll Well, it's not my podcast. That's why.
Well, they've
I'm
ceased
always careful what I
operations, haven't they? They've ceased field operations. So perhaps now there's not a lot of risk in revealing where it was, as providing you're certain, of course. I didn't do the
certain.
level of you're certain.
Okay, Eric, how about this? Text me and I'll say it on the air. No, we'll let it go.
Don't put him in that position.
Maybe
guys.
next time. But I believe I had never heard the term before. I think Clinton mentioned it for the first time. Is a geoguesser, where they'll look at an image and kind of figure it out.
Oh, there's a group on Reddit that does that.
Yeah,
that's what I think it is. Yeah.
At least for me, it was not difficult to figure out because I am familiar with desert fauna. There is a particular cactus that grows in 1% of the lower 48.
Here we go.
That's what led me to it.
He's a man with a particular set of skills,
Oh,
guys.
so you figured
That's
this out
all I
on your
gotta say.
own. No one told you, is what you're saying.
No one told me. No.
Got it.
No
Got
one
it.
told me.
Got it.
A little sleuthing.
But I've seen
And
you
I've asked,
comparing.
by the way, I've asked the Skywatcher guys, and they wouldn't tell me. But if I was going to go film with them, clearly they were going to let us know, right?
Yeah,
that was going to happen, but that fell through.
I mean, if you started an organization and your goal was to achieve X, and then you achieved it, yeah, you would totally shift gears at a certain, like, what are you going to do? Just keep sending people out there spending money? Like, you've got this thing now. I mean, it sounds like that's it. I mean, whether they recovered it or not, I guess is a different question. But 10 terabytes of data. We keep hearing about this data. They collected 10 terabytes of data.
Which,
I
by
gotta
the way,
say
is not a lot at all. If I'm being honest, I have 20 terabytes for my documentary.
Yeah, if you're shooting in 4K or 8K or whatever, it's going to fill up pretty quick.
So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, like if they got it, like their videos, as interesting as they are, and as cool as it is that they've classified, I think it was like 9 different categories of craft based on shape and performance characteristics, if I remember right. And these are all on their YouTube. You can go to Skywatcher's YouTube page and look at, they have each one kind of broken out into its own little video. But to look at those videos, I mean, they could be balloons for all we can tell from the distance. I realize that, like, it sounds like a complete reversal. Like, now I'm trying to debunk these guys, but I think we all support the mission of Skywatcher. The
100%.
stated goal of what they were trying to do was like, we were all, yes, we're on board. We support you. What can we do? Do you need money? Like, how can we help? So I don't want the Skywatcher team or Skywatcher guys to think that like we're shitting on them. I think the reason that people are annoyed is just the way that like the messaging got flipped and people feel like they're being gaslit. So it's like natural to ask the question, what happened? And speculation, in the absence of an official statement saying otherwise, we have nothing left but to speculate. And yeah, it does sound kind of
Well said.
I said this to Mick West in my interview with him. The videos that they put out, they're really for us rather than scientific investigation, in my opinion. That's like, it's for the layman to look at and go, oh, cool, look, like, we don't know what that is, kind of thing. The real data is unlikely to just be video. Like, I thought the videos were cool, but yeah, that they didn't display any clear evidence to me that they were I don't know, NHI or anything. That, like, that's a big leap from that video to that assumption. But the data that they have to supply with the videos, such as like radar, and I asked what kind of data this is to Mick West, because obviously he's a bit of a nerd. And yeah, he listed off a load of stuff that they really should have collected at this point. So hopefully they make that data. I think they should make that data available to everyone. 99% of the people won't look at the data because we don't know how to interpret it anyway. I certainly don't know. But it needs to be out there for everyone. It shouldn't be there upon request. It should just be dumped on the internet, in my opinion.
Well,
I think
that's
I think another point is, if you captured a craft, are you going to leave to go work with the government with drones?
That's what you tell people.
Well, that's a fair point.
You get hired to go work on this other thing. Here you go. We're going to give you, $2 million a year to go. You're going to work on drones. And that's it. Like, it's like, when you want to get sometimes organizations will do this thing where it's like if somebody's been working there for a long time, they promote them instead of fire them. They just kind of promote them out of the job they're in, so they're not insulted and they get to go. Or it's like if you've got a team of people who can now do this and you just saw it happen, you're going to hire all those guys.
Mhm.
Why would you shut them down? You bring them in the house and you make them part of your group.
That's my
And that's
point.
speculation.
Why would you move on? Why would you even have that story out? Wouldn't you double down, bring more people onto Skywatcher? It should grow. It should get bigger. You bring in more investors. Let's get another craft. Let's do another. Let's repeat this. Let's get going. You would triple down, quadruple down. I mean, it just seems odd, the responses.
Unless the point was to see if it could, maybe no one thought they could do it. And then they did it. And then Uncle Sam stepped in and was like, okay, we'll take it from here. I could see that happening.
Do we think, let's say Skywatcher can do this. Do we really believe that other governments haven't done this already years ago? Like
No.
Skywatcher, I don't think would be the first. I think this has been done for a very long time. If it's possible, it's been done many times.
Many times.
I think. Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah. It's not.
Good point.
Well, that's the other thing. Like
Although at a certain point, it has to happen for the first time at some point. So maybe this was the first time.
well,
Both are possible.
the video that he shared of the egg, if I take it at face value, and I take his statement, I take Jake Barber, at his word that was something that really happened. So, and they'd moved it before. I think it's safe to assume that whatever craft retrieval thing has been going on for at least 75, 80 years.
Mhm.
So they've probably been, shooting them down. We know they shoot them down. We know that sometimes they just land on their own. We know that sometimes they just show up and they're just there. Somebody walks up and there's one just parked in the desert with the door open and the lights are on and there's no one inside. That's the weirdest one to me. Like those little stories.
Can you imagine?
And then, fuck, no,
Can you
I can't.
fucking imagine seeing that in the desert?
And you go up to it and you're just like, what? Well, that's the thing. Honestly, for me, of all the things that I'm curious about, the psionics and the craft itself and how they entice it to land, if they can do that at all. It's like the thing that really gets me excited about this whole concept is like the first 30 seconds after it's clear this thing is right there, it's going to land. Like imagine being in that. Imagine being there and you're watching it, and it's like that scene from Close Encounters. You're in that moment, and then it's like,
Yeah.
here it comes. Oh fuck! Someone's got Scott. Get your gloves.
I can't imagine a more exciting scenario in life, honestly.
Like
Been
to
seeing
be able to, and so imagine and imagine they planned for this, and they've got like a couple of guys, and it's like, this is Scott and Danny and whatever, and Stan. They're in the hazmat suits.
The maintenance guy is there with a broom.
I don't know. I don't know who you send. Like, who do you? That's what I want to know. Like, what skill set? Is it a Navy SEAL guy? Is that who walks up to it, or do you want somebody else it's the 9-year-old child that's a powerful telepath? Who do you send? You know what I mean? It's just like, that is so cool. That has happened, but the idea of these guys doing it, I don't know.
What do we got there?
So we've got a post.
Adam Yingling. This is the guy that went out that works for NASA to Skywatcher. So was he there officially for NASA, or again, is he a Tim Taylor?
What does
What
it
does
say,
he
Adam?
do at NASA?
Shall I read it out? I don't know if you guys can read it.
I can't read it. Can you read it out?
So it says Adam Yingling. Adam Yingling.
Can you do it in the Dreamland Motel voice?
No.
Hell yeah.
Adam Yingling, a NASA project lead at Glenn Research Center, is pushing the boundaries of aviation with his work on autonomous flight tech. In 2024, he spearheaded tests integrating NASA's autonomous software into Sikorsky's, Psara, and OPV helicopters. Don't know what that means. Showcasing scalable automation for safer, more reliable flights. Anything else of interest here? Let's see. He's been key in NASA's Advanced Air Mobility Project, teamed up with DARPA to accelerate flight testing in future electric VTOL vehicles. His efforts are stacking technologies to transform air travel. A couple of other things that I've managed to find. He has worked on F-22 stealth tech, apparently done some stuff for the James Webb Space Telescope. And yeah, he's been around for like over 20 years at this point.
Is that OPV helicopter the one that flies itself? Eric, do you know that?
I'm not familiar with that.
Flies itself. What? What?
I could be wrong, but I feel like it. I think it might be like an autonomous helicopter.
I need to thank Cosmic Serpent in our Discord for linking that to me, by the way. That was a really good find. I had seen it, actually, but I'd completely forgotten about it, so it's really good. Thank you very much for sending that.
OPV means optionally piloted vehicle. So they put NASA technology into a helicopter, so it's an autonomous flying helicopter, optionally.
I'm down with OPV.
Yeah, you know me, buddy.
Guys, it's the top of the hour. We're at 158 likes. We have 500 people watching the stream. This is we can do better, guys. Come on. I believe in you. Believe in us. Hit that like button, please. Let's get it up above 200 likes. We can do that. Easy.
I'll do it right now.
There you go. See how easy it is.
And I'm sorry, Xander, what was the gentleman's full name? Glenn something?
Yinling, right? Or Ningling?
Adam
Yingling.
Like
I'm
the
sorry,
beer.
Adam. Okay. Oh, okay.
So yeah,
thank
it's
you.
strange. It would be really weird if that was just one thing that happened, and then this other thing, this alleged craft landing, just didn't happen in any way, and that's just completely made up, and like NASA were just part of that story as well. It's a bit strange. I find that, for me, is like corroborating evidence. I know most people would be, well, scientists would be like, they're just completely separate things, so there's no correlation to be made. I'm quite happy to make a correlation there.
That's our job. We're in the correlation business, and that's okay. There's much less pressure being a non-journalist. We don't actually have to deliver. That's the best way. These people want results. Was that Dan Aykroyd?
Just sit back and talk shit. Yeah.
These people want results. That's like Ross's office.
This Ross turn is weird. I haven't watched anything this week. It's weird to hear him kind of make a 180 from what you guys are saying. The way you're describing it sounds like a complete 180.
It's weird.
What do y'all think of what he said about the hearings?
Dog and pony show? Yeah, he said that hearings are a dog and pony show.
Well,
Like, we're not going to get government disclosure from the congressional hearings and all that. And I got to be honest, I'm not.
he's
I
not
agree.
wrong. He's not completely wrong
agree.
because, the government knows this. The people who are going to be asking questions at the hearing, they've already seen evidence where they know it kind of is, but it's not a dog and pony show for the public. It's kind of to pull the public up to speed, but not really give the whole shot.
That doesn't mean there can't be some left field stuff that happens, right? I mean, we for the first time, we're being told at least one of these guys is going to be a firsthand witness, right? Like, that's, to me, that's the thing. Like, one of these witnesses that we're going to hear from, at least one, maybe two, are firsthand witnesses, according to what Ross said. This is coming from him.
Firsthand witnesses, but not hands-on people.
But firsthand, as in, like, I was the guy who was there when this happened.
Yes,
Right.
That is true.
So that's a step up from where we've been in the past, which is people saying, "Well, I know of this. I've
Not
talked
really.
to people."
Well, Fravor was.
We had Fravor.
was- yeah.
We had Fravor. And Luella Zondo is a first-hand witness. He had orbs in his house. He also used
Oh, yeah, that's
telepathy to potentially torment a prisoner at Guantanamo.
He
with
says
his
he had
buddies
orbs in his
with
house.
with the sack lunch sitting in a conference room, right? I mean, I'm just saying that's firsthand. And again, why is Jay Stratton not testifying? He is touted as the number one guy. He's the most senior official in U.S. history to come forward about UFOs. He's been involved with the UFO and government for the last 20 years, is the only person like that. He's also a first-hand witness featured in the Age of Disclosure documentary, stating he's seen non-human intelligence with his own eyes.
Yeah. But
Is he
to be
talking
fair,
about Skinwalker there, though, do you think?
I think so.
something
Yes, I
Yeah.
think he's talking about Skinwalker.
Also, Jay Stratton has been offered, and he has not been chosen.
One thing I will give to Ross is the way he framed the dog
Yeah.
and pony show comment made sense to me. And the way he framed it was this. He said, look, the really juicy stuff that you want to know, they can't say publicly anyway. You're never going to hear that because there's no upside for these people. If they come out and say it, they go to jail. And if they don't go to jail, they get unalived. And if they don't get unalived, they get uncareered. And if they, it's like there's there's infinite downside. There's no upside. So anything that they're going to say that's really juicy is going to happen in a classified setting. Now, we can have a whole different conversation about why these guys aren't doing that or why that hasn't happened. But according to Ross, it has happened, and we just don't know about it. And other people say the same thing. I don't know what to believe, but I do know that that makes sense to me. And he said that the part that you're allowed to see is the public stuff. So that's the stuff that I'm assuming they want us to know. That's the controlled disclosure. When they send these guys in to make public statements, or if they are allowed to go in and make public statements, it's got to be authorized, right? I mean, like they can the information can be out there, but also not actionable. If it's old information and it can't really be verified, I could see there's a lot of stuff that would fall into that weird gray area that whoever's in control might not care if all that stuff got out because it doesn't really move the needle. But it depends. I mean, it just depends on what they say. If it's a fighter pilot who saw a blurry thing from, while he soared past it at 100, knots or whatever, I don't know, like whatever he was doing, that's one thing. But I think we have to see something much more significant at this point to move the conversation forward. What would it take for you guys? What would you want to see at the hearing or hear?
I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we want people that hands-on craft or hands-on bodies people would be the number one most requested and hoped for kind of person. I'd rather have one hands-on person than 10 witnesses for sure. I'd rather talk to someone who touched a craft for 2 days straight than hear like I engaged a craft. Those are great stories. The engagement stuff and chasing a UFO is super exciting, but tell me what the fucking skin of the body feels like, and you will have me glued to the TV for days. That's
Dude,
what
did
we
you?
want.
Okay, all right. So, did you ever watch the most recent press event that when Michael Herrera was brought out on stage that Greer did? Did you see that one? This is when Herrera first hit the scene. It was like the first time, and Greer came out.
It was June 2023.
That's right. He had like 4 or 5 guys. I think he thought he was going to have more, but like it wound up being like 3 or 4 guys, and one of them was Herrera, and another guy was there who was the he was an Army. He was in charge of their largest training range where they do live fire exercises. I don't remember the guy's name, but he says he touched a craft. He saw a craft that was following him along the road in the desert. He was driving with his wife. And he actually walked up to this. He got out of the car. He walked up to it. He touched it, and he said it felt like shark skin, and it sparked when he ran his hands on it. He was like, it was like pixels of sparks, but they were like pixels coming off of it, and it felt like smooth as polished, steel on one direction. But when he rubbed his hand back the other way, it was like shark skin. And it was the weirdest detail. And I was like watching, I'm listening to him. I'm like, just like you, I was like, this is the most fascinating fucking thing I can imagine.
And by the way, Lockheed has craft now that has a snake skin type skin on it.
Interesting.
It changes shape as it flies. It changes shape based on what it needs to do, if I have that correct. Eric?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Store data as well.
Yep.
When the Rendlesham Forest craft was touched, I believe it was described as sandpaper or something.
So
like
the symbols were sandpaper. The rest of the craft was very similar to what Clint just said, where it sort of changed colors. It looked pearlescent, depending on what angle you were looking at it. And at one point, it kind of all went one solid color. So it was like active. It wasn't just reflections on the surface. The surface was moving
awesome.
in some way.
It's so fucking awesome.
Bro, somebody just put in the chat mocking the Katy Perry song. I touched a craft and I liked it.
Fantastic.
That shit was radioactive. I don't know. I'm adding on to your comment. Great comment.
That's good.
He said, this guy, I'm trying to find this video so I can put it in the chat for people because it is worth watching. He said it was like, what is that? Super black? Is it like Vanta black? Is that
Vanta black?
Vanta. He was like, it was like Vanta black triangular kind of thing. It looked like an arrowhead or something, and it was like floating above the ground. And it made this weird hum. And he walked over and he touched it, and he's just going through all of this stuff, and it's such a fucking bizarre story. It makes you believe it because it's like you I don't know. You wouldn't think to make up these kinds of details unless you, I don't know, we're really super creative. This guy didn't strike me as that. He struck me as a pretty fact-based dude.
I always feel like most of these claims are not lies. Most of them are not, I don't think.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. The details are too strange, and like, what's the real point of so many people making up so many things? I think most people tell honest stories. The majority of people. Eric, you're a therapist. What do you think? Are people liars or are they truth tellers?
Long pause.
I think he's got a connection issue.
Oh, we may have lost Eric.
I would say, Dan, I hear what you're saying, but
I thought I was going to be asked about that.
Hey, there he goes. Maybe we come back to that, but do you know Danny Sheehan was on Fox Chicago yesterday? Because he talks about something else happening in the first week of September, which would be the vote on the UAP Disclosure Act, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Both of the documents are available now to look at, and they're available to vote on in the House, in the Senate. I believe Eric Burleson submitted them. You can thank Dean Johnson on Twitter who put that out, and apparently it's pretty much the same verbiage as last year and the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, right. So.
With the disclosure legislation, does it include eminent domain? Did they take that out? Yeah. That was the big sticking point.
I think it still includes it.
Still includes it.
I don't understand the faith in an act like that, even if it was passed. Personally, like, these guys have been operating without oversight for like decades. So why would they listen to just another law being signed?
A law gets passed. They're like, guys, we're screwed. They passed the law. They passed it. We're screwed.
Like, these guys have reportedly like killed people. They're not going to be like, oh well, the law says we got to own up. Like, the Congress is supposed to have had oversight on this for decades. It's not going to change with another law saying do it. Like,
well, that's it. You can pass any law you want, but enforcing it is a whole different thing. Yeah. They don't care. They are the law. It's like that scene in RoboCop where he's like, Dick Jones is like, we practically are the military. Like, they don't fucking need to answer your questions. Like, they sit above all that. They already know all your secrets. They have all your fucking emails. Like, what do they need to talk to you for? I feel like that's where it's at. Like, the power dynamic is so inverted, and I think the problem is that they can't keep the genie in the bottle because there's too many genies and too many bottles. And they're spread all over the place. And even if your group is as badass as they come with the most unlimited budget that the United States can throw at you, ultimately, like, you still have to face the fact that the game board is full of other players that may or may not be sitting on similar technology and may or may not be further along than you. And it's an uncertain, unstable situation. It's unsustainable. So any stability like that inherently, someone is going to, what is it? The prisoner's dilemma. Someone's going to eventually want to use the technology before anybody else uses it. Your incentive structure is completely misaligned. So it's like, I mean, like, that's ultimately the system has to give it up. The secrecy has to come out. It's just be catastrophic.
Pretty sure the act itself only really kind of orders that this information needs to be delivered to the president, and then he makes the decision.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, they've only got to blackmail one guy. Well, and they've probably got some juice to use as cannon.
Oh, you think?
You can't blackmail the current guy, my friend.
Current guy.
Yeah.
They've only got to silence one president. Like,
And it's easy because you can just buy his crypto coins and you can just give money to him anonymously directly. And then you just show him the receipt and this fucking president has his own goddamn cryptocurrency. That's insane. Yeah. What the fuck is going on? I'm sorry, but like this guy is for sale, dude. Like that's just, yes, you only have to bribe one guy and he's the guy happy to take.
I think he's going to ask, like, does it come in gold? Is there a UFO in gold?
Have it match my gold sneakers. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You've got to tell him. Did you see the video that just leaked the other day? Well, I guess they put it out. I don't know if it leaked, but it was the cabinet meeting where they're all like kissing his ass. It's like a whole table with like 12 people around it. And everybody, as they talk in turn, every single person is like, thanks to your brilliant leadership and genius initiatives, America's stronger than ever. I've never been more honored to work for someone than I am to work for you, Mr. President. And like you shine the light forward so the rest of us can see. And it's like this fucking fawning adoration. And you're like, this is the guy. This is the guy. Like, we're going to trust this guy with disclosure.
God bless.
Yeah. Good luck on that. Like, that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Cleanse.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like upset anybody, but
no, it's part of the conversation, you know. It is
part of it,
what
like,
we're talking about.
Well, that's what Ross says. He's like, it's all going to come down to President Trump. It's going to be him. He's got to be the guy. And I'm like, well, if that's
then it's fine.
Okay. Well, nothing to see here, guys. We'll just all go home. Damn it. William Underwood, Night Shift. Who is the alien and what does he do?
Who's your daddy?
Thanks, William Underwood. Let's go to our chat. We have a ton of comments here. I've got super chats coming in, and let's see. Zoltan. Hi, gents. Is it possible that Jay Stratton and Lakatsky will testify at this hearing? Word is firsthand witness and AOD move will be shown to Congress, folks. Age of Discovery will be shown to Congress. Did you guys hear anything about Age of Discovery being screened?
No. Luna said it on Rogan that they're trying to set up some private screenings, 2 private screenings actually, for members of Congress to see it. I think during the week of the hearing. I think that's the key. So coming up, actually, y'all growing up there, right? So there may be a chance. Ask around, maybe pop in on one of these screenings and see the movie.
That's the goal. That's the idea. I mean, if there is such a thing, we'll see. I would love to.
Maybe that's just what the hearing is. They're just going to show the film.
They just play the movie.
It's like a substitute teacher. Okay, guys, we're just going to watch a movie.
They wheel in the cart with the TV on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to grade papers over here for an hour.
Congressional popcorn. Bring it.
They just have Eric Davis come out. They just have Eric Davis come out and introduce the film, you know.
I would love that. That would be incredible.
That would be incredible.
It's my understanding, I have a little bit of insight as to who's at this hearing and who's testifying, but I know the 3 that are locked in, and there's discussion of 1 or 2 others that are names we do not know. So I don't think it would be Stratton or Lakatsky. I think it would be very powerful, unknown people to the public is my assumption, is what I have gathered.
Okay.
And, that sounds great.
So are the other 3 that are testifying, so we know those names then? Well,
yeah.
I mean, we'll know them when they testify about, oh yeah, we know those guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Is Matthew Brown one of them?
I won't say. All I'll say is I really hope that he's there. I think his testimony would be very powerful, and I would love if he was there.
I mean, we did get Immaculate Constellation. That was a gift. That was pretty cool last time that happened. That was in a public hearing.
Massive.
You know, that Dog and Pony Show maybe, but like still, that was huge.
So if my math is right, Dan, are we thinking 5 total?
Initially, I mean, there's 3 locked in with the potential of adding 1 or 2 more. I understand that they want to add 1 more. There's push to add 1 more, so it could be 4 or 5. At one point, they're up to 6. That they were considering 6, and I've been in there, and that table it's tough to fit 6 people there. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But yeah, it could be. It's definitely 3, but it could end up being 4 or 5.
Okay.
We just got a question for you. It's from Krister Lervik. Is Dan actually ready for more of these people?
What does that mean?
I'm not sure what that means. What does that mean, Krister? Let us know what you mean
the
by
answer
that.
is yes. I think I'm ready for all the people, but
I think he's ready for anything.
give me all the people.
He'll wax a chump like a candle.
Load me up on people.
He's ready for whatever. All right, guys. Anything else we want to get into this week? Because this was the big one. I think we all needed to vent a little bit. I feel like we did that. We got the rage out about Ross and the whole thing.
I'm currently on the East Coast. I'm in Massachusetts, where I grew up. I'm in my father-in-law's basement at the moment, and tomorrow in Exeter, New Hampshire, which is about 45 minutes from where I'm at, is the Exeter UFO Festival. And it's celebrating 60 years since the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. So I'm going to go to that tomorrow and check that out, which should be a lot of fun. A lot of speakers. Stephen Bassett is speaking at it.
Oh, cool. Bassett's
so that should be a fun day. Yeah.
Can you got to see if you can talk to him, because he's the guy in Washington D.C. He's the guy who knows all the behind the scenes stuff, right? Isn't he?
He's one of them. And if I have a spare 6 hours, I would love to talk to him, because he likes to ramble on and on. But he's a wealth of knowledge and cares very much, and he comes at this from a very, very positive angle always. That, like, these things are not here to hurt us. We should know. He's pretty smart guy. I'm a fan of his.
And he's really assertive about disclosure. He's not like wishy-washy on it. He's going after it.
Yep. So that should be fun.
There was some movie news about Betty and Barney Hill. Speaking of that, there's a movie coming out with them, and they just cast the two actors, Coleman Domingo, and I can't remember the woman who's doing it. But
cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. They're going to be making I don't know if this is the Obama project. Like Obama, his production company had signed on to do a project about that case. So I don't know if it's the same one or a different one or whatever, but that's kind of interesting.
So
it's also pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating if Obama has a part of it. I mean, yes, it could be just a money making thing, but he also has spoken publicly about UFOs before, so that's pretty cool.
The have you heard the regression tapes for Betty and Barney?
Mm-hmm.
The regression
horrifying.
Yeah,
super weird, right?
Horrifying.
And I know that, like, that's one of my questions about that case.
Sorry,
dude, totally. The later on, years later, people said, well, it was scary in the moment, but later Betty and Barney came to accept that it was a positive thing in their life. And I've always been really interested in that turn that these stories seem to take, because you hear these regressions and they are scary as hell. Like a lot, not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty intense. Like the people are freaking out. I mean, there's just a lot of emotion and very charged and extreme experience that you would think in any other context would cause some trauma for people for the rest of their life. And then somehow within a few decades or years later, I mean, people somehow, at least some people, transform these experiences into a really positive thing. That whole notion is weird to me. And
I'm sure Eric can absolutely speak to that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Dan,
about
I thought you and I were talking about this, and it might have been someone else. Correct me if I'm wrong, but someone was asking about hypnotherapy. So I'm actually a certified hypnotherapist, but I don't do it anymore because I hold telehealth sessions, and it's just not conducive. And so I recommend that people be really cautious about trying to access memories that are consciously inaccessible. And when it comes to UAP experiences, I say, before you do that, you might want to listen to the Barney Hill tapes. And they're pretty disturbing. At one point, he's screaming at the top of his lungs, those eyes, they're in my brain. And so a lot of times when we can't remember something, it's for good reason. Okay, so if it's just mere curiosity, I'm a little cautious about that. If it could be proven that this is how it's going to improve my life, I would be more on board. But to your point, Clint, the tapes are absolutely hair-raising. I
mean, imagine for people who haven't listened to these, I haven't listened to a lot, but I remember throughout the 90s when John Mack and Bud Hopkins were appearing on the talk show circuit and stuff, there were a lot of documentaries that came out around that time, and they would include clips of these regressions that they could, put on in the episode or the documentary or whatever. And it is weird to listen, because if you're listening to someone who's been inside the craft, like they've been right there, and that whoever the beings are, whatever they're dealing with. Now, if you listen to like Jim Sparks, or depending on the person that is telling the story, it's different encounters. But I mean, walking into a room and there's an 8-foot tall praying mantis thing in a robe, standing there, and like they're describing it in vivid details. Betty and Barney Hill are. What was the year? When did this happen? What year was it?
1965.
1965. These are super locked down, people. They're not, prone to flights of fancy and imagination. They're just like a middle-aged couple just doing their thing.
Also, this is 1965, and they were an interracial couple who came forward with these claims. So you already have a target on your back. And for them to come out with this kind of claim, it seems such a bulletproof claim to me, that in those times with those people to make that claim is really astounding that happened. And the fact that they, through hypnosis, Betty was able to describe the Zeta Reticuli star system, which hadn't been discovered yet. And then years later, it was discovered, and it matched her sketch on a napkin perfectly. So she described something in space that had not been discovered yet, and you can't really sleep on that.
It's super weird, and the way it was an astronomer, a woman who reconstructed she built it in a room. She like went and she just kept like hanging different things from the ceiling to get the distances right, and that's how she figured it out. This is like before they had any other software to do it. She had to like guess her way towards the answer until she found it.
Wait, what?
It's a really weird story. Do you know more about it, Eric? I'm doing a bad job explaining it.
Yeah, 3-dimensional star map this woman made.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Like,
who did that? Someone who was working with Betty, or Betty did it?
Well, Betty drew the sketch of the star
System.
map.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, no one knows what this is. It just looks like a doodle. And then there was a woman, I believe it was a woman, and I believe she was an astronomer, or she was I don't know what her background. I wish I knew her story, because it was so cool. She recreates in a room, like hanging from the ceiling with little like fishing line and like, foam balls or whatever, like you would do in a child's room. And she's making a 3-dimensional reproduction of Betty Hill's star map. And she has to keep messing with it until she gets it just right. And that's how she was able to figure out where the star system was, because she needed to look at it from different angles, because it's different every, to whichever angle you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And this was done without the help of software or any kind of, there was no sophisticated way to do it. So they just did it by hand. And they were able to prove, I guess, that was a real star system. And there's this whole interesting story about it, and I don't know enough to do a really good job explaining it. But
it's a really good case. It's a really, really, really good case.
I hope they go there in the movie if they do it.
I would think they would,
because it is such a weird story. Did you guys ever see? They made a remake, and it was like 3 years ago on Netflix, of Unsolved Mysteries. And
it's fantastic.
Did you see the UFO episode where the whole town had this one sighting, and the one boy gets frozen? They hit him with a beam. They see this craft. These two boys are in the backyard, and the two brothers, and one kid gets frozen in a beam, and he's like, I'm frozen, I can't move. And his other brother's watching him, and then the whole family sees this thing, and then everybody in the town sees this thing fly over, and they're all like, yeah, this is what it was like.
That's not too far from where I am right now.
Oh, where that took place? Is that right?
Yeah, it was in Massachusetts as well.
Oh,
yep.
Wow, be careful out there, man.
Oh, I am.
They're gonna get you.
Shit. Yeah, there's Betty's drawing on the bottom, and then the actual star map up above it.
Oh my God.
I mean, she nailed it.
So weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty crazy.
The woman was Marjorie Fish. That was
Marjorie Fish.
And she was just someone with interest, or was she?
She was actually it says here background in sociology and science, and she got into UAPs, UFOs after she read a Jacques Vallée book, and she's the one who built the 3D star map, and then determined it was pointing at a certain spot, and then later that was determined to be Zeta Reticuli, which I believe is a binary star system. I think it has two stars, and for don't quote me on this. I'm under the impression that that area has been studied and that it was determined it could support life.
It could support life. Yeah.
It says
How did she see that? So how did she see the stars? I don't understand.
She was shown it by when during the abduction. They put the image into her head because she was asking like, where are you from, and they just like put that star system into her brain, so she drew it from memory.
Yep.
Well, I have a question about that. So the image, the image you showed of her drawing, the image you showed of her drawing and reality, it perfectly matches. So they gave her because you could look at that star system from 360 degrees angles, right?
Sure,
so they showed her the angle from Earth looking up.
Okay.
They gave her that.
Great question.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a weird angle.
According to the Wikipedia article on Betty and Barney Hill, it says here, analyzing the star map. In 1968, Marjorie Fish of Oak Harbor, Ohio, read Interrupted Journey. Fish was an elementary school teacher and amateur astronomer. Intrigued by the star map, Fish wondered if it might be deciphered to determine which star system the UFO came from. Assuming that one of the 15 stars on the map must represent Earth's sun, Fish constructed a three-dimensional model of nearby sun-like stars using thread and beads, basing stellar distances on those published in the 1969 Gliese Star Catalog, Gesundheit, studying thousands of vantage points over several years. The only one that seemed to match the Hill map was from the viewpoint of the double star system of Zeta Reticuli, 39 light years from Earth. That's how they figured it out. Wow.
I mean, that's a random guess. That's a hell of a random guess.
Either way,
I'm just saying the aliens gave her that angle to look at. Does that make sense? Like it matched if you were looking up from Earth. I don't know. That seems weird. Like, why wouldn't they show her? I don't know. I mean, I'm not an alien. I don't know.
Prove it.
Yeah, that's what an alien would say.
That's
Xander,
what alien shit ever heard. Yeah.
You let's change gears for a second because you worked on a great episode of Dreamland Motel, and I got to hear a little bit of it. You gave me the breakdown of what it's about.
Yeah, I needed you to listen to the last 10 minutes because I was really scared I was just making a massive mistake.
Tell people about this episode because I think it's the coolest one you've done so far.
I tentatively agree that it might be my coolest one so far. So I do. There's two things. Before we go into that, sorry, I just wanted to put out the Zeta Reticuli thing. That has implications for Bob Lazar and Burrish's story as well later down the line. So if that was proven to be like BS, then they'd have a couple of questions to answer. Not more Burrish, because Bob even said that those words may have been placed in his briefing as a distraction or as a way of identifying who he is. But Burrish certainly said that they are absolutely from Zeta Reticuli. So if that was disproved, then it would basically, I would throw Burrish out with that. So like really, that was the start of the whole Zeta Reticuli thing within ufology. So it's either they are genuinely connected, or people since this happened have just used it as a jumping off point to add to their own conspiracy theory. And yeah, I had one question for Dan. Sorry, I will come back to the episode, but I had one question for Dan about the hearing. Based on your knowledge, and obviously don't reveal anything that you shouldn't, how do you think this hearing will compare to the last one that we had? Overall, do you think we'll be more impressed or less impressed?
I think in the last hearing, when Lou answered those quick rapid-fire questions about craft and beings or whatever, that was pretty powerful and incredible to hear. I think these hearings are going to be just as powerful. with less fuckery and weirdness after the fact. I don't expect any Schellenberger, Jeremy Corbell kind of weirdness. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I'm pretty positive it will not. I think it'll be a very satisfying hearing that will give us a lot to talk about and will be good for the public. And even better if they get the other one or two witnesses, whistleblowers. Yep.
Is Jeremy going to the hearing?
Yes.
I might be going too, by the way. I haven't said that publicly, but I may be going. It's amazing.
You might be going?
Right
I
on.
might be going. We'll see.
Cool.
Well, dude, you got to let us know. We're going to be there.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll find out Monday.
When you find out.
Bump into him like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be
Thanks.
awkward, right? Like,
What a dick.
Tap you on the shoulder up there. Yeah.
It's really awesome to be there. I mean, it's a very powerful thing. Even if you weren't there for a hearing, to be in that room and to see like the U.S. government at work is very, very cool and powerful. And it's like
I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it's a cool thing that we're able to do as citizens and people, but when it's about this topic, it's so exciting. I'm so stoked that we're going to be there.
I remember watching.
How hard is it for people to get in, Dan? Like, if people want to go, like y'all going, are y'all going to be able to guarantee seats, or how hard is it for people to get into this thing?
I feel like a bit of a douche, but I walked in with Jeremy last time and sat next to him, and I'm doing that again this time. So I don't know how like the rest of the losers get in, but I just walk in. No,
you just roll in.
You wait in line, you get in line early, and you're kind of guaranteed a spot. If you're the first in line, you are going to be in there. It's a relatively small room. And if you don't make it into the main room, they have like an overflow room where you can watch on televisions, like in the room next door. So either way, you're there. And then everyone who is there kind of walking around the hallways, you see everybody there. Like there's nowhere to hide. It's very, very cool, but it's going to be a blast.
I'm so stoked.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm going to take a potty break.
So I can talk.
We need
about
a code.
I can talk about the episode.
Guys, I got to get a juice box. Hang on.
Gotta get a juice box. Tell us. All right. So tell us about this Dreamland episode because you blew my mind with this one, and I want people to know.
So one of the first videos I did was a fictional story based around ufology. Like I tried to pack as many like Easter eggs and stuff into the episode so people feel like they can connect it with reality, but ultimately it's fiction. It's there to get you to sort of question things and come up with ideas and things like that. So I've basically done that again because a few people asked me for another sort of fictional story, and this time it's what if JFK survived, which I try and tie in a lot of Easter eggs. Ultimately, it's a channel about ufology, so the story's going to go there. Picture JFK at S4
in the most spectacular way. It's so good.
Think Harrison Ford Air Force One, but instead it's JFK at S4.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm super excited for this one, and I got to listen to the last 10-15 minutes, and it was, I have to say, it was a tearjerker. The music got to me.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of music.
The
in this one as well.
speech.
Yeah, the speech. But I encourage. I did put a lot of thought and effort into this one in particular. I don't normally like to plea with people to go and watch it, but I would love it if people went and watched it today. It comes out in 3 hours and 20 minutes. I will try. The reason we're streaming early tonight is because I actually double booked myself, and I'm actually off to a party shortly. But I will try and be there for the premiere for at least a little while. It'll be 10 p.m. for me, so it'll be a little bit late. But please go and enjoy it. And I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to say about it, Colin?
I have a lot to say. I just didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. I wanted you to say it because I mean. It's you told me the story. You walked me through like the beats and stuff, and they're just spectacular. It's so cool. It puts this scenario like this. Imagine what it would take for a person to be able to like freely walk the halls at S4, like that kind of a situation. When it all comes together, the way that you do it was just really just clever. It was so well written.
Thank
I
you.
love the speech. I love the whole thing. I hope people will go watch it. If you're not already a subscriber to the Dreamland Motel, please go to Xander's channel and check it out. It is outstanding. And also go to VETTED. Of course, I don't know who doesn't know about VETTED, but if you're one of the 3 people who doesn't know about VETTED, go to Patrick's channel, VETTED, and subscribe there. And you can also check out Others from Another Mother and Rare Form Radio. You can subscribe there. Those are Dan's podcasts. And Eric, do you want to talk about outcome counseling? We haven't talked about it in a while. We got a couple of minutes left.
Oh, I would be flattered. Thank you. So I'm a licensed clinical social worker in Colorado, and I work with a whole host of clients. Depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder are the main things. But then I also have this consultancy on the side, outcome counseling, where if you're feeling particularly stressed, you've had an experience or something like that, you can talk to me about it, 100% confidential. And I work with people all over the world because I'm not actually practicing. I'm just a guy who happens to have a master's degree in that field and is a UAP experiencer and understands it. Because, look, it's difficult to find somebody who listens and doesn't dismiss you and doesn't give advice. That's why people talk to trustworthy people. But especially with UAP stuff, it's so hard to find somebody to talk to. I know quite a few people, myself included, where they reached out to a friend, thought they would get a certain response, got the opposite, and felt even worse. So I'm here if somebody wants to talk to me. Thanks.
It's so tough to find. Like, it is such an important thing to have good chemistry with a therapist or with someone that you're trusting and confiding in. A lot of people aren't lucky and they get with a bad therapist or somebody that they don't just, maybe it's a good therapist, they just don't jive with.
Mhm.
And that can cause all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
It's got to be really what kind of people do you talk to most often? I mean, what if you don't mind going there? I don't want to put you in an awkward spot,
Specific
but
to UAPs or otherwise?
just in general, but UAPs, if there's something specific that jumps to mind, I'm just curious, when people talk to you, what kinds of concerns are they talking to you about?
Right. So I'm also a couples counselor. So I work with couples. And there's one thing in particular couples argue about. It's nothing. It's just little things that become really big things. They're tired of bickering, and so they need an objective observer who can say, hey, have you thought about this? Or, oh, I couldn't help but notice that. But again, the main 3 things, anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and usually the PTSD is combat veteran or car accident. Those are kind of the most common things that I help people process. I work with adults. I think the youngest I've worked with is 15. Oldest is 80, 82, 83, somewhere around there. And when I send people an intake, one of the questions is, what are 3 things you want to work on? I hear common answers like, I want to renew a sense of purpose in life. I think I'm stuck in a relationship, but I don't know if it's that bad. I need an objective observer. So mainly people see therapists because it's a fresh set of eyes, not going to judge, not going to give advice.
I want to know what you think, if you've been paying attention much to this at all. I've been seeing these articles lately of AI-induced psychosis and people who are using AI as a stand-in for a therapist, and it can, in some instances, lead them down a really bizarre, weird path that can cause all sorts of problems. Have you looked at this space, and what are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. I have not, and actually you sent me something. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I was just talking to a client who's switching careers, and one of the main considerations is, will this career exist in 2 or 3 years due to AI? I think the first jobs that are going to go are expensive professional opinions.
Really?
Lawyer, therapist, something along those lines, right? So a lot of people are now using AI in replacement of expensive professional opinions. Unfortunately for me, I think that is going to affect my field greatly. When it comes to working with AI and having AI as your therapist, I would be really cautious about that because they may not be able to understand human emotion like you and I are talking now. Okay. Now, you could ask it, oh, I've heard of cognitive behavioral therapy. What's that all about? It could tell you about that and maybe help you determine how to proceed. But when it comes to processing and making these deep human connections, it's not replicated now and it might take quite a while. There's something about the way we're talking now, or when I sit with a client in an actual office face to face, there's something about it that it's not tangible. You can't really describe it. It's something very special that humans have.
You pick up body language and facial expressions and just
Right.
vibes in the room. You pick up on vibes.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the thing that I think people miss. And I've got an article up on Psychology Today, just the emerging problem of AI psychosis. That's the term. And it's not the only publication that's published on this. There's a ton of stuff out there right now. When I type in AI psychosis, Psychology Today is the first one that comes up. But basically what's happening is these people are, it's a flaw in or maybe it's the way the technology just works, but it has this sort of built-in reflex of reinforcing what it thinks you need to hear to keep you engaged with the platform for as long as possible. And there was a case recently of a woman who is suing, I think it's OpenAI. I could be wrong. I don't know these facts for certain, so you'd have to look at the story, but it just came out, and it was this woman who's suing one of the AI companies because her son was depressed and committed suicide, and the AI chatbot, he was using it as a therapist, but then he eventually started to ask it like how he could follow through with his plans, and it helped him figure out how to do it, and it was like this whole thing. So it's really shocking and weird. And I personally, just in the process of running this channel, have been contacted by a bunch of different people, and each one individually, unbeknownst to the others. These are people who have not met, I don't think. They're emailing me out of the blue, and on more than 3 or 4 occasions, they have been convinced by their AI that they are part of some kind of super secret moment or some phenomenal world-changing event, and they are sitting at the center of it, and they have cracked the code. This is the key theme that comes back again and again. I have cracked the code. I did it. I figured it out. I unlocked the AI's true potential, and I got to it, and now it's explaining to me what's really happening. And in our own UFO community, we saw this on Chris Lito's channel I want to say it was about a year or 2 ago. He had to take a break for a while because this had happened to him, and he posted about it. This is not, personal information. He put all this out there. So this has been going on for a while, and it seems like it's getting more and more pronounced as people get involved with it. And then just this week, there was another headline that dropped. I'm going to say this was day before yesterday. Check this out. This is from Futurism. And it says OpenAI says it's scanning users' ChatGPT conversations and reporting the content to the police.
Let me delete mine real quick.
So basically, this article, and this is like, there's too many pop-ups here, but the article goes on to explain that there is of course, they're using AI to scan your conversations at ChatGPT or at OpenAI. And then if they detect that your conversations are outside of the boundary of what they consider good and safe behavior, was kind of a loose, they don't really define how they get there. But if you're doing something that should raise an alarm bell, or they think it should, it goes to an internal review team, and then that team can forward it on to law enforcement. And there's no legal protection built in there's no privacy protections for people built in for this. So there's no law in the books, none of this stuff. So if you go to my point is, like, having a therapist or having a person you can talk to that you trust, that is a person you can sit in the room with and actually have a human to human conversation. I don't think AI can replace that. I think that what you get instead is a whole different thing. And it's not, though it can be helpful, and there are positive use cases, like, people need to be really aware of this. Like, this is a dangerous moment.
If I have a therapy session with Eric, I can be pretty damn sure it's going to stay between Eric and I, and it's not going to be read or heard by anybody. But if anything you say on Instagram or to ChatGPT or to Grok, all of that is able to be accessed by hundreds, maybe thousands of people who work internally on these things. So, privacy with any technology it's not real. It's just not really a real thing. And that's the person-to-person thing that Eric's also talking about, I think, is that why you can't replace that.
Right. And I would fall under the class of a mandated reporter, so are school teachers, so are general practicing doctors. Unless there is imminent provable threat, no. I mean, the way my field works, the confidentiality runs so deep that if you admitted to me you committed a crime, that doesn't leave the room either. It has to be, I think they're leaving the office right now to go harm somebody. So
Right.
confidentiality is really important because people are carrying things with them that they have not shared. It doesn't have to be anything malevolent in their past. It's just like, I don't have anybody to say this to. All right, well, tell me, because I'm not going to tell anybody else.
I think that's where we get into like this weirdness with AI lately, is because people are, for many real reasons that are super relatable and understandable. It is expensive and times are tight and money is tight and people are stressed and there's a lot of shit going on in the world and life is hard. And, America has a really fucked up way of paying for healthcare, and we just leave a lot of shit unaddressed, and we just expect people to take 2 aspirin and fucking deal with it. And I think in that world, in a situation like that, it makes sense that people would turn to this new tool that proves so useful in all these other ways. But it's important to keep in mind that these tools are designed to keep you engaged with the platform at all costs. That's why there's always a follow-up at the end. Would you like me to do this thing? Or how about I get or whatever? And maybe I can draft an email for you? Or what about this idea? There's never any your AI will never go to you. You know what? I think what you need to do is step up and walk away from the computer and go take a nap.
Yeah.
I think you need to eat a sandwich, take a nap. Let's talk about this tomorrow. You don't get that. You get this other thing, and it's not another person. It's a simulation of all the different people it's ever encountered, and it's like it's gaming your psychology. That's the thing that scares me. And you see this cropping up more and more with these people who are having these weird experiences where they just sort of spin off into some kind of fantasy world. But yeah, it's super important to have other humans that you can trust, that you can confide in. That's the thing we're giving away with all of this new technology. I think we're giving up on human connection. We should be doubling down on that.
That's why I got to say that's one of the things I love most about doing the show with you guys, is that I could be asking these questions on ChatGPT or Googling or watching YouTube rabbit holes, but having these 1-on-5 conversations that we have is so much healthier and so much more enjoyable, and I'm really grateful to have it. And I hope people do more of this with their friends and families, and use computers as a tool, not as much as a friend, because it's not your friend. It doesn't really know you. It just mines information about you to try to relate to you. It's like a spy. It's not a real thing. So let's keep doing this kind of stuff.
Amen, man. That is so. Yeah. I was awesome that you said that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it.
I think particularly with UFOs and UAPs and topics like this, it's so weird. And I think a lot of educated, well-adjusted people, most people who are into this subject are educated, well-adjusted people who are just fascinated by how weird it is. And I think it's unlike anything else. There's so much of a there. You cannot look away. Once you look into it, you have to be absorbed by it. It sucks you in. And then you're left to contend with all the fucking weirdness that comes with this. A lot of it is not true information. A lot of it is misinformation or misinterpreted information, but it's like this soup of weirdness, and we're all swimming in it, looking for some kind of reference point to find our direction. And without anyone else to talk to, you're kind of just spinning out in fucking cyberspace. And I think that's the value of being able to hang out with you guys. And for us as an expanded universe audience to all get together, and the vetters and night shift people and everybody else to come together and just have these conversations, because it is fucking weird, and it is real, and it is happening. And you're not wrong, people at home watching. You're not wrong for clocking how fucking weird it is, and for asking real hard questions about it. The easy way out is to do what Neil deGrasse Tyson does and just say, oh, it's all silly, Hollywood, whatever. It's never aliens, and just turn around and walk away. It's much, much harder to confront this issue, as strange and bizarre and unexplainable as it is, and just face it head on and say, let's talk about this. Let's just sit around the table and have a conversation about this, because it is
That's
weird.
what we're doing, dickhead.
Perfect.
Oh my God. All right. That's my speech. I'm done, guys.
That was awesome. Agreed on all points.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks, gang. Thanks for hanging out today. I know it was a new time slot, but this was great. We got to do more of these big hangouts.
Hell
Get
yeah.
Pavel
I think
next
we
time.
can squeeze in a sixth.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Can we do a distortion so they're actually squashed in a little bit? And then, so, guys, if you're watching at home, thank you for being a part of today's live stream. Thanks for participating in the chat. I'm sorry if we didn't get to your questions. We did have a full boat today. It's a little bit different scheduling for us. This is, not normally how we do things, but it's a unique week. We've got some new stuff happening. We're going to be going to DC coming up for the September 9th UAP hearings. If you have contributed to support that effort, God bless you. Thank you. We appreciate you. It means more than you know. If you have not and you want to, this is totally optional. I'm just going to put the link out there because we are talking about it. So I would be silly not to. I'm going to put the link. If you want to help us out, you can. We have already hit our goal. So anything else that you chip in at this point is going to help us soar past that goal. And we're going to do as much with it as we can. So that could mean more live streams. That could mean interviews. It just frees up more resources for us to cover the event. With that out of the way, guys, thank you for watching. We will be back next week with more. Until then, go check out Dreamland Motel, Others from Another Mother, Rare Form Radio, OutcomeCounseling.com, and of course, the legendary VETTED podcast with Patrick Armstrong. Thanks, guys, for being with us today. We'll see you soon. Keep looking up.